Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 59, and today we'll be playing some discard Draven. And so, I'm not going to be going too in-depth with the deck list. This is like the third or fourth video we've made with this deck, and if you're looking for a more in-depth guide on the list, you can scroll back a few videos. But we're practicing for the seasonals tournament. We've qualified for seasonals, and that's what I'm wanting to focus on in terms of this video. And so if you aren't completely current with what we're doing, we are looking to play against either Yuumi Pantheon or we're looking to play against Talia Ziggs. Those are the two matchups we're looking to leave in every lineup. We feel pretty confident that we should be able to have those matchups turn up quite frequently, and we're looking to kind of pick on those matchups. And so the lineup we're bringing is going to be Pirates. We're going to play Yordles in Arms, and then we're going to play this Discard Draven. And so the Discard Draven, it's kind of an interesting deck list. I kind of compare it to Jund in Magic, if that was a place you spent some time, to where the deck wasn't like really good against anything and it wasn't really bad against anything. It was just in that kind of like 45 to 55% win rate band across the board. And so I'm kind of okay with that here. This does have a slightly positive matchup against Pantheon. It has a slightly positive matchup against Talia Ziggs, but it doesn't just get like annihilated by anything else in the format. And as we've kind of seen over the course of the last few gauntlets, people just ban pirates every time. And so I do like this in the sense that we're going to have to play it pretty much every single match. And none of the matches this is going to run into are particularly bad. And so we don't have to run into these matchups to where it's like, well, I'm bringing scouts, but they have these two control lists that just crush scouts, and I just get beat up by everything that they have. And so it's kind of a nice stopgap measure that, kind of regardless of what lineup our opponent brings, they shouldn't be able to 2-0 a single deck. And we have a shot coming back out with the Draven Sion. But with this one, like we mentioned, I'm looking to really focus on Pantheon, and that's what some specific choices have been made within here. The big one being the Arachnoid Sentry. We showcased the Sentry in our Pirates video a couple of videos ago, and this is just an all-around fantastic card against the likes of Yuumi Pantheon, whether or not it's shutting down one of their big attacks, or if they've gone tall on a single unit, just shutting that unit out of combat and getting a big attack in. The singular stun coming out of this is quite strong. It's also pretty strong against Talia Ziggs. If they're setting up their Talia Absolver attack and can't do it on an open, you have the potential to stun Talia, and then you also have some potential to come in and get some stuns on the big guy, the Arsenal. There we go. And so a decent bit of interactivity here. The only other changes we've made to this since our last chance gauntlet, where I took the survival skills out, I wasn't happy with the removal packages that we've been running into here recently. Just too many Vengeances, too many Blighted Ravine kind of cards, and I don't want to just play the survival skills into those. It's also slightly awkward into Sion when you're trying to get him to die, and he's undead for a turn. And so I took both of those out. The thing I was looking for was a little bit more discard, and so we've included a copy of Rummage. This is a nice value generator, and then we've included a second copy of Reborn Grenadier, which fills a lot of gaps in here. I don't feel like we were hurting for value, and so having this ephemeral unit's not that big of a deal. The extra discard outlet is quite nice, and it is excellent having the kind of burst a unit into play capabilities, especially when I expect the full Pirates lineup to be fairly popular. So people bringing Pirates and Elise Burn, and then something like a Nar Ziggs. I think those lineups will be fairly common, and I like having just a little bit of extra edge against those. So otherwise, pretty straightforward. I don't think we do anything too wild and crazy in here. Play the full sets of Mystic Shot, Get Excited. We do play the full sets of Poro Cannon. I love maximizing our opportunities to get to the big Fallen Rider on turn 2. And then we're playing a single copy of Pharaoh's Fancier. This is one of the cards I might consider playing an additional copy of. It's just great curve filler in the event that we don't have a Fallen Rider or a Boom Baboon. And then it's still good in the late game, generating the expensive spells. And so that's one of the cards I'm looking to potentially add another copy in. And then we do have the Aloof Travelers, which you don't always see. I've been very happy with this just as a value generator and a big hand disruptor, especially now that we're seeing kind of the rise of Viego decks, and being able to spike an Atrocity or spike a Viego can be pretty powerful with the Aloof Travelers. And so that's it. Otherwise, pretty standard, I think, and we're ready for battle. And so we'll get this pulled up. I went to see if we had to pay the pay-to-win price today, and we do. The Ravenous Flock sitting down here. The old three-eyed raven, if you will, not premium. Problem solved is premium now. And so everything in here is all premium except for the Lost Soul. We're okay not getting these epics premiumed out. Completely fine. And let's jump on into battle. And so, yeah, this is a deck. I've had lots of fun with this one, just in terms of good timesness. This is right up there near the top. I'm a big fan of Sion. It's weird that like 1 point of attack kind of brought him back into power. It was weird that he was a non-existent unit with 8 attack, and then he jumps back into relevance at 9. But here against the ramp deck, this was a disastrous mulligan. Our opening hand was just not keepable, and this is no good whatsoever. Like the Poro Cannon, I think we just have to go for, but this triple burn spell start is quite abysmal. Gotta just be flooding units on the board at the beginning of the game here, and so hopefully we can pick up a 2-drop next turn. Like it's not a complete disaster if we don't, but again, this burn start is not ideal against what we're battling here. Picking up an 8-drop, not exactly what we were not exactly what we were looking for. Oh boy. All right. We're gonna have to get excited this faces of the old one just to make sure we can play Lost Soul next turn. Okay. No Blighted Ravines just yet. Now we got our big boy ready. And so he can fortunately survive a Blighted Ravine. It gives us a bit of options in those terms, but not an ideal space. Like if he plays the Ravine and then hits it with a Vile Feast next turn, not a lot we can do about that. Alright, well let's get some dudes going. Like, if he has the Avalanche, he has the Avalanche. They don't play the full 3 copies of it. Typically, they typically don't play the full 3 copies of it, and we have to have something go right here, right? Having our opponent ramped and at 20 coming into this turn 5, just you can't be like, well, I'm going to play conservative in this space and hope for the best. You gotta have something go right. All right. He committed like a slow spell and then pulled it back. If it's a Withering Whale, which we've been seeing more and more of these days, we're just kind of fucked anyways. But if his play was Avalanche, it's something we can at least get around here. Voices, sure. A little scary. Gets him in range of playing a AoE unit next turn. Whatever he's called, the 8/8 for 8. All right, well, I'm putting dudes on the board. Like, it's clearly suspect when when opponent has the full 9 mana and says, "Hey, I'm gonna pass." But again, we just have to have something go right. It didn't in this case, and that's fine. That's pretty expected when we have an opening start like that. Not surprised we lost that game at all. On to the next one. Okay, some Ezreal Caitlyn. This is one of the few matchups to where I do like the survival skills. It doesn't help in terms of surviving the flashbang traps, but it's pretty powerful in terms of stopping their get exciteds onto your dudes. And so I do kind of like it here, but we haven't been seeing very much Ezreal Caitlyn. And it's one of those decks I kind of expected to see a lot of in terms of being in gauntlet lineups. And that just didn't happen either. Very strange. Oh, almost skipped our attack. Almost skipped it. Keep dropping the dudes. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Mystic Shot hit the Risen Rider, but hopefully makes World a little bit safer for Draven if that's the case. Sure. I think we could just go for the Baboon here. It's like slightly scary in terms of our opponent having a like the flashbangs in our deck. But it's like we feel pretty far behind if we drop Draven and then he just has a burn spell. To whereas if we play the Baboon and his play this turn is Caitlyn, then it feels pretty good for us. Like going a little bit wide here with the double daring Poros and the Boom Baboon. Feels a little bit safer than dropping Draven, having him get hit with a burn spell. Yep. Do need to get a few more stats on board though. It's a little scary having these 1/1s on the board in the face of the flashbang traps. Not yet. Not yet. A little safe. Get his attack in with the 2/2, completely fine. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the Flame Chompers. We lose out on a thing with the Spinning Axe, but that's fine. And then it gives us a little bit more of a health window next turn. With, you know, we've gone 2 turns without hitting a flashbang trap. It's getting more and more likely. Sure. Right. Decent draw on the Urchin. I would love to be able to just like spike a big unit here with the Sentry plus the Ravenous Flock. We'll see if he, you know, kind of plays into our games. The Archivist is a fine enough unit for this play. We ended up trading our Sentry for the Spider, getting the Flock on the dude. Dropping the big beams. That's a 3-mana Tri-Beam coming in. It's important to note. Wonder if he already has a Tri-Beam. All right, well, we're getting close to dropping old Captain Farron. It's building up to it. I wish we'd been able to chunk in a little bit more damage, but it is what it is. Wow, still no boom from the thing. There we go. There's the card draw finally coming through. Uh-oh. Well, it's kind of good, kind of bad, right? We would like to have that Captain Farron, but we at least picked up a Sion. He's ready to flip and do stuff. And this should be pretty safe, right? The thing that sucks with Sion is if you drop him and you don't get the second attack in, and they should need some damage here to try and pull that off. Oh. Sad day for you, my dude. This is unfortunate because now, like, I want to be able to attack with the Risen Rider, as he's going to. It's going to give him more opportunities to take down the Draven, or take down the Sion. But we got our attack in. That's pretty nice. Gross. Okay. Opponent should be at a pretty big advantage at this point, but we do have the Sion on board that can chunk in a bunch of damage. We're just like one big draw away from being right back in it. we even have traps left? No, he's hit them all. Okay. There, he's got a big boy, huh? Would have been nice if if we could have aloofed away his Captain Farron. I would have enjoyed that.
You dropped something. I dropped everything.
Ooh, we had a Hextech Transmogulator in there. That would have been pretty juicy, taking down, turning one of these other units into a Captain Farron. Alright, I feel like we just have to attack here. It's just like a little too easy for him to have good spells if we don't bring in the damage.
Just kill me.
Takes him down to 6. Okay. Takes him down to 8. Let's see what we hit with our fancier.
We made it.
Oh, discard the Chompers. Fuck. God damn it. That's a coin flip. Like that's how you lose games basically when they hit the coin flips like that. I think we can just pass on these. Fuck. So huge missing out on the giant spell. Okay. Interesting way to go about it. Like, the scary thing with this is, like, he has access to Scorched Earths. And I guess, I mean, 4 health isn't that much. I think we just have to see if we can't build up a little bit more board and get something good going on here. He discarded a Decimate as his most expensive card. Oh, fuck. Okay. You'll note we have to say that quite a bit as this matchup progresses. A lot of oh fucks happening here. Alright, well, he can chunk in 2 damage with these Daring Poros. I don't want to get the second Flame Chompers on board. Probably just dead here, but we can still give it a shot. Alright. Well, there's a big boy. If there's ever a way to give yourself a shot, I guess that's it. Sure. That's tough. That's tough. His aloof travelers were exceptionally good that game. Losing out on our Captain Farron and then losing out on that Reggie. So it's unfortunate to have it go down that way, but it is what it is. And don't feel too bad. We are running into matchups that we do just typically ban, right? This is like one of my real struggles with trying to prepare for this event, and that I would love to be able to just sit around and play against Yuumi Pantheon all day, but I don't have the testing facilities to be able to pull that kind of thing off. But here, I think it's okay to get rid of the Lost Soul. Maybe we do need to hang on it for just in terms of value so that we can play the Baboon, the Dredger into the Lost Soul. Playing the Mirror match here. I think I'm definitely happy to get rid of the Ravenous Flock. This like depends on how much of a grind fest this is going to be. Mystic Shot was a big addition. Interesting. Not used to seeing the Saboteur come out of Draven Sion. This attack's just not that good. We can, like, ideally next turn Urchin away something and then still have the Mystic Shot for Draven, right? He's going to play Draven here. And that makes our turn just feel quite a bit better, just ensuring that we get to full clear his board. But we don't need the Flame Chompers. Let's just ensure that we have the cheaper Twin Blade Revenant. Bringing in the additional damages. I mean, I think I'm okay with just throwing away the Flame Chompers at this point. Like, the dude is clearly all in on this burn plan, and we're not going to have any way to get, like, promising attacks out of this Flame Chompers. So let's just, like, stop this all-in shit that he's trying to pull off and just prevent the damage. We have plenty of value in our hand to get through this. Play the Poro. I don't want to bank any spell mana here. If we're going to cast spells, it's just going to be on his turn. Revenant is slightly dangerous in that he has like decent blocks against this. If he plays like a Boom Baboon, it can be kind of awkward, but I think he's okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Just dropping decimates already? Oh man. That's a little on the scarier side of the spectrum. Wow. It's crazy. All right, well, I'm going to discard Captain Farron. We're never going to have the chance to play him. And then we'll play the fancier. Get another dude on board. Maybe pick up a burn spell. Transmogulator is kind of interesting. I don't think we're going to use it, but we're never going to have time to play these other cards. And if we get into something this turn to where he tries to say, like, Mystic Shot the Fancier, then we have potential to chunk in a bunch of damage. Or if he has a burn spell for one of our 4-drops, we can potentially copy the Daring Poro in on. We have, like, lots of options with it. Alright, so Scion would be a little scary next turn. But outside of a Scion, I think we should be okay. Oh, there's a draw. There's a draw right there. That should shut down pretty much anything he wants to bring at us. Having the stun for Scion, or we have a Get Excited if he tries to play Noxus Blast or something. I think we're okay here. So much. Okay. Well, he's out of decimates. What else are you supposed to say about this board? Oh, are you going to disconnect game? Are you stalling? What's happening? Oh, it's going to crash. I don't know what happened. I didn't put us in the game. So I'm just going to assume that our opponent conceded there. I didn't watch what our ladder rank was enough to care, so... interesting. We'll call that one a win. His ways of getting out of that would have just involved 2 burn spells, right? He could have had double Mystic Shot or Mystic Shot Get Excited. Anything involving Noxus Blast we could have stopped. But, interesting. We can hang on to Lost Soul here. We have lots of discard in this hand. Okay. Let's see how upset we can get about Hexite Crystals. I fucking hate that card so much. All right. Oh boy, we get to fade it right from the start. Stupid fucking card. Not a bad round. We can boom pretty hard next turn. Between getting Draven down, being able to burst some other units on the board. I don't think we're going to look to bring the Baboon on board, but or bring a Flame Chompers on board. I think we're just looking to Draven and then potentially discarding to Grenadier. It's like I mean, it's a pretty decent turn to chunk in. Let's go for it. I'm gonna boost the Risen Rider. He currently can't block it, and so this is our course for the biggest damage. He could have a Mystic Shot this turn, but he's gonna want to Mystic Shot Draven. So getting the value play like this looks pretty good. Okay, chunked him pretty low. Then we have at least a little bit of protection from the crystals now. We have this this Lost Soul in hand, ready to come down as a 4/3. Okay. Drawing a drop border. That must feel nice. Nope.
In this timeline, we're sure to save Icathia.
Right. This is okay. He has great blocks onto the Boom Baboon and onto Draven, but we should be able to chunk in a little bit of damage on this next turn. Another good attack with the Risen Riders potentially there. Sure. So do we just play this slow now? Like, I want to get this Lost Soul on board, but it's a little worrisome in terms of opponent being able to find crystals. I mean, he's down to 2 cards. He has to be really looking hard for Echo at this point as well. I think it's okay to just kind of go for it. Let's discard the Lost Soul. And there's no reason to attack with the Baboon here. It's not going to deal damage ever. And so let's just keep it back. If he wants to fill out his board, I think that's okay. Getting close. Got him to 5 with a Mystic Shot in hand. Getting close. There's Echo. Oh, you're not flipped. We learned our lesson yesterday with not taking care of this stuff right when you can. Let's just get this Echo off the board. No thanks.
Gently, gently.
Okay. Got him. See, that's my thing with Hexite Crystal, right? I mean, I guess there are matchups where it's just like completely abysmally terrible, right? If you're playing Hexite Crystal against like the ramp deck or any of the control decks, it's just pretty terrible. But there's just like so many matchups that are just auto wins against. My thing with the card is always like how often do both players have fun when this is around, and it's just one of those super polarized cards as to where. There's never a situation where both players are having fun when that's involved, right? I have to assume during that game, the opponent's getting beat down by a shitload of 1 and 2 health units, and they predict like 4 and 5 times, that they're pretty upset at the crystal. And then if they'd hit it anywhere in there, we would have been pretty upset. And it's just like it's just one of those things to where if it's kind of like a natural part of deck building, then it doesn't feel terrible. But getting domed by that crystal when they're like a 5 and 6% chance to hit it. It just sucks so much. Sucks so much. I really don't like that card's existence. Alright. Moving on, though. Up against the old Aphelios Fizz. I feel like this is likely going to be one of our most banned decks. This is the one that like I really hope doesn't pick up a lot of steam. Because it seems like to be one of the decks that just has pretty good matchups across the board. It's strong against a lot of what we're doing. Just like having that fairy go wide kind of thing is quite strong against like pirates and what we're doing here. But not a bad start for us. Lots of booms ready for action. Now, it's like an interesting turn. I feel like one of the most important things for us to do is to kill the Gleaming Lantern. And so I'm going to try and get ourselves the opportunity to do that. Right? If he has one of these turns to where he plays the Gleaming Lantern, he plays the one of the cheap ones, usually the like Fated unit, and then he goes into the next turn and gets another 2 mana discount, we're just never winning that game. And so we'll bring forth the Thunder here. If he has the Lantern, we'll get excited at it. And then in the case here where he doesn't have it, I'm fine with just the follow-up Draven. He had to make a pretty big investment in that turn. I think we just discard the Spinning Axe here. Hopefully he doesn't have a way around this. He's played the one Pale Cascade. Makes it a little bit more challenging to have those. Now we're ready to boom. Do we just go for the big damage attack here? Like, I think that's safe. The Revenant is just going to get like dealt with. Chunk in for 10. That's a big number. I did the mathematics on how big that number was, and it's in the double digits. It's quite large in terms of single digit numbers. You know, single digits stop at 9, and this got all the way up to 10. Good job, deck. Good job. Shock blast. Cool. That gives us the 6 damage we need. Takes 9 mana to do it, but we can do all of that next turn. What up, Moon Boy? They don't play... they might have heal. Some of these decks play Guiding Light. So I don't want to just go all in on this burn right from the start, but we're definitely going to Shock Blast Aphelios and Face. The question is, do we want to drop? Okay. All right, we're playing dudes now. We're not sending the burn to Face just yet. But, I mean, we got a good board this turn. We can get 3 units down, get the free draw and the Lost Soul. We still have the burn spell in hand. We're in a pretty good spot here. I like what's happening. Where are you at? The Lost Soul. Sure. We get the opportunity to kill units, huh? I like that opportunity. And he pulls it back. I think we're good. Oh, he's got a follow-up, dude. That's actually a little scary. Alright. I was hoping we were going to be a lot closer to lethal without doing anything. We're a lot closer now. Definitely a lot closer with more burn spells. Okay, still an important damage. If he has the Guiding Light, or is that what it's called? Guiding Light that you heal 2. This extra point of damage could be pretty pivotal. Come on, kitty. You want to hang out? You want to hang out? You want to dig your claws into my arm? Yeah. She's such a talker. Meow fest over here. Okay. I don't like seeing this happen, but sure. So maybe you'll just spend a bunch of mana on something that doesn't matter. Play a 6-cost card, my dude. Drop that Papercraft Dragon. Uh-oh. Alright, well, here we go. We're bringing it. Okay. Thanks. Thanks in advance. Why is he doing it this way? Just like completely advertising that we shouldn't play the Mystic Shot just yet. Okay. More Poro Cannons. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's not a double strike. It's like I kind of want it to die so we can just discard it to the Poro Cannon. But it's still, it's like it's going to be a good attack next turn. Alright. Frout them space. Oh my goodness. Come on, kitty. Come on. Jump up here. Don't claw my arms. She's just eyeballing the way to claw the shit out of my arms. I appreciate it. You know? That's very thoughtful of her to just look to bring me damages. Alright, now let's see if we can do it. We're ready with the Mystic Shot. It's kind of... Oh, there we go. It's kind of tempting to try and do some of these Revenant cards, but... We'll see what happens. Like, you shouldn't have Moon Weapons in hand right now. We shouldn't have to worry about the Lifesteal weapon. Okay, let's let this happen before we drop the Mystic Shot. He's been pretty good about advertising when he has the Guiding Lights, but oh no, oh man, should we have done it in combat? I forgot about it being able to get generated by Conchologist. It's like it's a weird game of chicken, right? If they're able to, you know, if he knows in combat that we're gonna bring the lethal, then he just goes all in terms of dealing with it. But I wasn't anticipating a Conchologist turning up. All right, we're safe now. Okay, that was scary. So, did you all see the big patch notes from yesterday? Big patch notes. Lots going on in there. I was looking to Reddit for people just to start bitching about nothing. You got to find something to bitch about these days. Oh, 69 LP, nice. But it was nothing. It was stuff like the pool party board sometimes puts waves on the other side of the map. Stuff like that. I don't think there was anything relevant in there. I just glanced over it. But of course, the big stuff coming out was the announcements of the announcements, the upcoming release of the gen patch and the new champions. I'm curious how things play out. Like, I can't quite remember how all of the numbers worked with the old sets. Like, I thought that there was supposed to be like 250 cards in a set, and then they kind of split that up to be like 150 in the big one, then 50, then 50. And then the note said that the upcoming gen patch will have 4 champions and like 65 cards. And so I'm curious if that's a part of kind of like the older development style, or if this is kind of like the standard set size, or if there'll be like a small set one day that's like 50 or a big set at 100. I'm curious what the kind of overall strategy is with the sizing of those. They haven't said how many sets they're doing a year, but I would assume that they'd still try and do the 6. The set releases are a giant advertisement and a lot of hype generation, and so like I feel like with Magic they just overdo it now. Like it never feels like hype season for Magic. It seems like there's literally always a set coming out, and there's never a chance to breathe, and so you're never just like, oh wow, you know, here's something new and exciting. It's just like every single day there's spoilers for something. Maybe it works for them since Magic's so big now, and there's so many just like different people you're trying to hit in terms of, you know, this product being for this person and this product being for a different person, that maybe it works out there. Oh fuck! Has he played 2 spells? Nope. All right, so we're safe from the Eye of the Dragon. We're gonna have to get excited this quickly. Zoe's not like super worrisome at the current moment, but the Eye of the Dragon is. We should be able to deal with it next turn. Get the Risen Rider down, it'll trade with the Charger. I mean, we could hook the Charger out of combat just to hit it for a ton of damage, but that might actually be the best Flame Chompers that we'll get. Sure. Is that where we stop? Like we get the Eye of the Dragon off the board. The little Dragonlings aren't that scary right now, right? He's not super low on damage at this point. Huh. But it's like, if we hook the Charger out of combat, he puts his Tail of the Dragon in front of Risen Rider. You could even block the Urchin with the Eye of the Dragon. None of that seems particularly appealing. I don't think he ever blocks with the Eye, though. He does. Joke's on you, buddy. He does. Okay. That dum-dum has been dealt with. Zoe's the big problem now. She's threatening flips pretty soon. Mystic Shock was a great draw. So it's not... It doesn't work all the time, right? It's very easy for them to just have a Twin Disciplines here, but we got to try to take our shot to get Zoe off the board. But yeah, the gen stuff's interesting. I'm curious about how the stuff plays out with the special deck building restrictions. I didn't go back to the preview patch to see if they said what Jen's like restriction thing was. Maybe they did, and it was like he could play like all the fast spells or something. I don't entirely remember, but it's interesting. I'm curious how it goes. The champions that aren't attached to factions. Well, that felt pretty okay. I didn't think we were going to get the Zoe off of the board there. I'm always a little worrisome of these Daybreak generations, but one step at a time. One step at a time. Let's get the unit down. This Ravenous Flock is something I'm thinking of taking out of the deck. We've just like the only opportunities we have to use it are with the Arachnoid Sentry. It's just like I'm not super happy with the Ravenous Flock, and then I'm also not super happy with the Rummage. It's like I'm just kind of thinking of taking those out and just adding in the Pharaoh's Fanciers. It was like as the problems we ran into with like the Pirates deck and drawing too many burn spells. It's like I really just like this collection of playing the Get Exciteds, the Mystic Shots, and then just no more burn. Unless it's a Decimate deck, I guess. But I don't think this is a Decimate deck, and it's like I'm really interested in just playing more Pharaoh's Fanciers. Like, I don't think we want to play 3. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. It generates cards and just really does it all. Here comes our big boys. Get ready to watch some animations, my dude. Such scary. Such scary. Many scaries coming at us. I don't know if they have great answers to this. Seems like a deck that probably plays like Homecoming. And then there's Concussive Palm. There's, of course, the Obliterate card coming from the Daybreak thing. Yep. That's the only one he's played, right? He hasn't played another expensive Daybreak. Right. Rough spot, rough spot. This would have been pretty strong if we had the attacks with both Farron and Sion. Little worried now. With Zoe at 6 cards. This one's like ramped up so fast. The other Zoe we hit at like 5 or 6, and this one just got there almost immediately. Crescent. Nice pickup. Alright, little scary, little scary. He's up to like 8 spells on Zoe now. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and pass. We can't like rummage into a burn spell we can actually drop on her. It's up to 9. Yeah, she's gonna flip. Ooh. Wow. That's a Mystic Shot. Maybe. One-time dealer. As they say. As they say. One-time dealer. F. That was pretty savage. The fuck is he just playing Whimsy? Is this a thing? People just playing Whimsy? Oh, yeah, that's brutal. Okay. I don't think that was a generated card. I think that was just dude actually playing Whimsy. Okay, so we probably need to win on this turn. I don't think we're going to be able to do it, but as soon as he drops an elusive, then we're pretty hosed. Sure. Okay. I've seen enough. So let me see. I want to get this rummage out of here. And I want to add in a Pharaoh's Fancier. Like, it's like, do we really just play the 3 Grenadiers, get rid of the Rummage, and then add in a second Fancier? It's like 3 Grenadiers feels like a lot. Happy with all the top end. These are fine. Some dredgers is good at 2. 2 sentries. I don't think I want a 3rd sentry. It's like we've never had the opportunity to want or use either of those. That was the best rummage we've had across like I've had it in here before. It's probably across like 15, 20 games. Okay, let's try it like this. A little bit on the fly edits. 3rd Grenadier, the 2nd Fancier. Can't get enough of that card. It's so good. All these manifest cards are just super overtuned. I'm surprised the Fancier didn't get hit to being a 2/1 at the same time. Conchologist got it. Like to a degree, they're right. If a faction is going to be able to have, if a faction is going to be able to have like card generation be its thing, then it should be okay for that faction to have like the 2/2 unit. But I don't. It doesn't feel like it's P&Z's thing. Maybe it is. I don't know. But against the Donger Jace, pretty decent start. He hasn't dropped a Mystic Shot on us yet. I mean, I think we're safe to just keep adding dudes. Right now that we picked up the Urchin and the Boom Baboon, we could potentially just discard the Flame Chompers to take away whatever good blocks he has. That's exactly where we're at. I think I'm gonna let him either keep the Rocket Blaster or have that be his trade away. We'll definitely get this 1/1 out of combat. I'd say he'll put the Rocket Blaster in front of 4/2 and take 7. Yeah, which seems pretty good for us. That was a big mana investment. He spent like 6 mana to basically kill off a 2-drop. So I'm on board with that. Okay, now we can do a similar thing. We can hook away the Hextech Handler, and he's going to have a bad set of blocks this turn. Getting to 7's pretty close to lethal. Drops him to 6. Okay. What you got for us? A good one? This is kind of an interesting space for Glory, but I think we just want the Weapons of the Lost here. Get the removal and the big dude, and then we'll still have the mana to drop some Daring Poros on the board. Boo. That was a lot more growth than I wanted to see. Look how big my unit is. Alright, I don't think we can take the full 10. Like, falling to 6 is pretty scary, but falling to 11 should keep us out of Mystic Shot-based burn range. Okay. I think, like, even if he has the Vengeance here, this is fine, right? If he has to spend all 6 of his mana to Vengeance down our Scion, then he just doesn't have the mana to do anything else. Ooh, we get to attack? Shit, yeah. If you had the Vengeance, you do not want to wait till combat if Vengeance is your play, right? He's going to give us the rally. GG. All right, man. After 2, 3, and 5 performances with our other decks, it's kind of nice to at least push these things into the into the 50-50 range. All right, here's our last one. Match 8 for the day. I'm excited. Oh man, and speaking of excitement, I had my calling yesterday. Sometimes it just happens the way life works out. When you are the ultimate expert, and then people just have to like bask in your knowledge. And so I was at the pet store, right? And so I had to go buy cat litter. And there was a dude there, and he was like interacting with a girl that it was very clearly her first day. She later told me at the checkout line it was her first day, but she did not know anything about cat litter. Now, thing or two FTP Bust knows about is cat litter. I know extensive knowledge in terms of cat litter, the appropriate size to get for the massive amount of cats that I have, the various smells and clumping capabilities, your clay litter versus your natural type of litters. Yeah, it's not to toot my own horn, but fucking toot, dude. I pretty much just know it all. So I was able to like drop all kinds of knowledge on this dude, and it felt good, you know. Maybe I'll just quit my job, what I'm doing, and just be like a professional cat litter describer. Is that the right word? I'm a professional describer. But I feel like I made his day, you know. It really helped out. But all right, with this one going on here, we're about to get some really good blocks. This Reborn Grenadier is going to come down and abuse some of these units. So let's see. Let's strike with an axe. Kinda want Draven to survive. Only take 2 damage this way. Seems okay. What do you mean it doesn't have fragrance? Don't you want fragrance? Well, sir. There is a difference. In your house smelling like shit, your house smelling like fragrance, and your house smelling like shitty fragrance. You really want to shoot for fragrance only. But no, man, it's good. I'm glad to help. That's what the channel's here for. That's what Bust in Person is here for. It's really tempting to drop this Flame Chompers and Spinning Axe down the little spider. It's probably not worthwhile. Or glory. Could be useful. It's probably going to be too expensive. Like, maybe we should have taken the Hextech Changer spell. But I can definitely see a world where we get some value out of having the 2 units on board. All right, he's tapped out. We're going to go this route. We're going to flip our Draven. And getting the Flame Chompers on board also lets us pull the Demolitionist to the side, so we get the attack in with the Fancier. I like it. It's Draven time! Cool. I like it. Yeah, it took me a while to figure all that out. Do you want your house smelling like Hawaii and shit? Probably not. Probably not. Oh. Lots of saboteurs coming at us. At least good to know this was his target for the spell generator thing. No swath of Doom Beasts coming at us. Pretty scary though. We're gonna take 5 on this turn and fall to 7. Losing our Draven while we're at it. I mean, do we win the game? Do we ever win the game doing this? I'm kind of leaning towards pulling these back. That drops us into Decimate range. But can we win on an open? right? Well, the downside with this as well is that he could potentially Noxus Blast out of it. So I think we're stuck blocking here. We fall to 5. That's at least okay in terms of we can survive 1 Decimate. We have lethal in hand here, right? We have 8 plus 1. Can't remember if this deck plays things like Vile Feast. But we're bringing it. Got him. Nice. Oof. It's a nice little set of battles. Nice little set of battles. You're good, Draven. You got the flip and everything. And so, yeah, we can pull this up and talk about it a little more. Leave the cat litter for another day. But I think I'm going to be happy. I'll continue to play some more games today. With the removal of this Ravenous Flock, I've just never run into spaces where I wanted it. And then the removal of this Rummage. Again, it feels like we have enough value. And then we're starting to gradually add more value-based cards into our deck anyways, as we add more Fanciers. The thing that's really striking me is, do we really want the 3 copies of Reborn Grenadier? And it's been like surprisingly good. And again, like my thoughts and concerns are Yuumi Pantheon, Talia Ziggs, and then the aggro matchups like we just played and Pirates and such. And it does really shine in a lot of those matchups to where if the game goes to like turn 7 or turn 8 or turn 9, we're just going to lose anyways. Like the turn 7 and turn 8 are basically I'm attacking with Captain Fair and did I win the game? And so having something that like lets us punch in a little bit earlier than that and make that final turn attack a lot more powerful is kind of interesting. And so I gotta keep grinding a little bit with this and see. But I can already kind of feel that I think I like the ideas that we're pulling off here in terms of taking the Flock and the Rummage out for the Fancier and the 3rd Grenadier. May even just want 3 Fanciers. Because, again, like the problem we ran into in those other decks is like you want to play Boom Baboon on turn 2. You want to play a Grown Fallen Rider on turn 2. But what if you don't draw one of those, right? Then not having a 2-drop whatsoever is pretty disastrous. And the Fancier fits in well there. It also fits in well when you have these curves of, okay, I play Boom Baboon on 2, and then I play another 2-drop on turn 3 along with a Mystic Shot. And so it certainly has the kind of place in here, and it's really been like growing on me in terms of just a really high-powered, good enough early, good late card that fits in the curve and does a lot. Even if it just like in that last game, if it generates a card that you end up discarding, it's still quite a bit of value and quite strong. And so I think that's where we're probably gonna stand in terms of finishing things off with the deck list. But in terms of the next few days, today is Wednesday for me, and then Seasonals is on Saturday. I want to keep getting in some games with these decks. Like I'm sorry that you're just seeing these 3 decks this week, but I don't have tons of time to come around and test for anything. I know I put out a YouTube video every day, but I'm not playing Runeterra for a living. And so there's definitely a lot of players out there that get to play 6 and 8 and 10 hours a day. That's just not something that we get to do. And so I don't suspect the highest showing at Seasonals, but I think we can still be competitive. And I do want to take the time that I do have to devote to Runeterra and use that to practice as we can, instead of just like bringing meme decks out this week. And so once Seasonals is done, we have 2 weeks to play meme decks. And so I'm sorry to have kind of the repetitive content over the past few days, but it's just kind of what I got to do to get my practice time in. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. You learned how to have some Draven time a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.